Islam is not a religion of peace.
It's the only religion that acts like the mafia, that will fucking kill you if you say the wrong thing.
The Islamic State is Islam.
Burqa is not a religious symbol. It's a sign of enslavement.
The connection between Islam and terror.
Tolerance. It's a funny word. It's something we use so often, it's almost lost its meaning. Does it mean to accept someone's value for who they are, or is it accepting somebody's presence? Sort of like tolerating a fly buzzing in a room. Tolerance. What does it really mean? This is my niece Layla. She's 3 years old. She's half Palestinian, half Pakistani, loves Moana, and could probably sing you the entire soundtrack by heart. Though 3 years old, she excitedly prays alongside her father and mother during their daily prayers. Seeing her gives me mixed emotions of hope and fear. Hope, because through her, I see a future for America in which where we live in a multicultural, pluralistic society. Fear, because of the uncertainty of reaching that state and her instead being subject to the bigotry that continues to persist. Muslims in the US have been balancing, or maybe the correct word is tolerating, the bigotry that has been surrounding them for years. The media doesn't exactly help to provide a different perspective of Muslims to help combat the racism and stereotypes we face. With their constant coverage of terror attacks, Muslims have been boxed into this mold where we're only asked whether we condemn violence or if we're oppressed or if we think ISIS is an imminent threat to the US. But there's an entire spectrum of Muslim perspectives that we miss out on when we pigeonhole what it means to be Muslim. Through a series of interviews, I wanted to shed light on some of these other perspectives.
Live on the Alex Jones Show, we're going to jump straight into the news. It is absolutely massive. Banning the veil. Why do they wear it in Islamic countries? Because in the Quran, in the Hadith, if women don't wear the veil, they're subject to be kidnapped and raped. That's the ultimate form of patriarchal misogyny, yet we have feminists celebrating the hijab.
My name is Madiha Mian, and I'm 22 years old, and I'm an amateur boxer. I used to watch my brother. He's an amateur boxer as well. He's fought at the elite level now, but I used to watch him shadow box in our garage. I'd go to his fights and stuff, and it was a beautiful sport, honestly. If I'm not training for a fight, I'll probably box like 3 to 4 times a week. And the other 2 days I'll just do some outside boxing training. If I am training for a fight, it's probably like 5-6 days a week. I was actually really lucky. USA Boxing, about a week before I had registered for my fight, they had literally just approved of wearing hijab in the boxing ring during competitions. So I was lucky in that I didn't have to face with that challenge of having to petition for my right to wear it. So I recall that the year before I had my fight, one girl, her name's Amaya Zafar, she had to fight for it. I remember she went into the boxing ring and during one of her fights, and after she won that fight, then they kind of stopped her and said, you know, this doesn't count, you're not allowed to wear it during competition. Hijab totally helps gain my confidence. I started wearing it when I was about 15. I remember when I was 14, I really started like wanting to wear it. And it just came down to a desire to just feel closer to God and stay true to myself, honestly.
My message is to not wait on the world to accept you and for other people to change for you. Just keep doing what's right for you and don't look at what other people are saying about you. If they do have anything negative to say, then really it's their problem more than it is yours. And I did get comments that I shouldn't be fighting as a female wearing hijab or as a female in general. And if someone really feels that way, they're welcome to meet me in the ring and we can work it out.
Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. There is a great hatred toward Americans by large segments of the Muslim population. They have no respect for human life.
I'm Mustafa Salem, and I'm a fourth-year medical student at Texas A&M University College of Medicine. My parents, who came to this country as immigrants without a degree, without any education, they worked hard and they instilled in me and my siblings that we need to get our education. At the same time, we're also encouraged to do something that's meaningful, to give back to society. I found that medicine was the best way that I could help, the best way I can give back. My religion's a big part of who I am and why I'm going into medicine. I want to help people, and my religion promotes that. There's actually a saying from the Quran that says, if you save one life, it's as though you saved all of humanity. Whenever I go into the hospital, I always have that in mind. If I can effect change in a positive way on one patient, then it's as though I've done a favor to all of humanity. So I was on my emergency medicine rotation, and a patient had come in. And I go in to interview the patient, and he looks at my name badge and he says, "Your name is Muslim, Mustafa Salem. That's a Muslim name. I don't want to be seen by a Muslim doctor." I really was shocked, and I thought to myself, what does my religion have to do with the care I'm about to provide? I come into your room to help you, to provide care for you, and I haven't even done anything but introduced myself. And just based on the premise of what my name is, this patient was judging the type of service I was going to provide. And you have to respect the patient ultimately, so I said, okay, that's no problem, and I left the room. It's very frustrating to see all this misrepresentation about Islam, especially when you know that your fellow citizens are listening to these media outputs. It paints us as violent people when we're in reality are not. My religion teaches to be peaceful, to be kind, to be generous, to help my neighbor, to help those in the community, to give back. My religion is a big part of who I am, and I don't view myself as someone who is violent. So I want a future for my son Yusuf where he contributes to society and he is not viewed as someone who is an outsider. When I was in elementary school, I was bullied for my religion. I was called terrorist. I was made fun of. 9/11 happened when I was in school. I still remember being called a terrorist and people saying, Osama bin Laden is your uncle, or go back to your country. You know, it would break my heart if one day he comes home from school and he says, I was being bullied because I'm Muslim. I want him to feel American. I don't want him to be treated as anything else.
Meet the hedgies. They're kettles and cuteness all rolled into one. So cute. Hair to brush. Put friendship first and rule with kindness. Just like
President Trump, do you think Islam is at war with the West?
There's something there there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it.
In Islam itself?
I think Islam hates us.
I'm Abisha Rahman, and I'm 13 years old. I think that after the election, people are more open to being racist. I mean, like, they'll probably say something like, build the wall. I remember like, during art class, this girl asked me if I had, like, a bomb in my pencil bag, and I didn't say anything. I remember I was walking in the hallway to, like, my second period class, and these two guys, like, crowding this girl and, like, snatching her scarf from her head. I stopped it, but they started laughing. They didn't think I could do anything about it, you know, like, and they're like, what are you gonna do, bomb us? And it's kind of upsetting when you hear that your friends go to it, like, through it too, because we're 13-year-olds, like, why would we bomb a place, you know? And, like, why would any Muslim bomb a place? The teachers are focusing on their class, and if they're behaving or not, they don't really see what's going on. I would tell the school that they should probably keep an eye out and just see what's actually going on in their own school, and maybe, like, have a day where they're just, like, talking to students, because there are multiple students who are not very open about their problems, and keep it in, and it can start a problem. My goals in life is to be a writer. Probably write a story about, like, racism and bullying, you know, how to cope with it. Some people think that they are the only ones that go through it, but there's, like, more people who go through it. For my coming generation, I would probably hope that people aren't as racist and won't judge people just because of the way they look and if they wear a scarf or not. Like, first get to know the person before just automatically making them like accusations or assumptions.
I don't expect an overhaul of the media anytime soon, but what I do hope is that we make personal efforts, daily, to get to know our neighbors, friends, coworkers on a more intimate level. Go beyond the surface. Find out their hobbies, hopes, aspirations, and maybe even fears. Hijab doesn't correlate to oppression. Beards do not make men more accustomed to violence. Let's try to go beyond tolerance. People are dynamic and complex individuals that deserve to be treated as such. And when you look a little deeper, I'm sure you'll find that there's more than meets the eye.